The night I saw the spirit of Enkang. I never believed in the stories the elders told. They spoke of spirits that roamed the land, especially around the Masai Manyados, those enclosed homesteads where our people lived. I was young and thought I knew better. That was before that night. The night when I saw something that still haunts me. I had just returned from a long journey with my cousin, Kamo. We were going to the village of Nasarian, a beautiful young woman from the neighboring community. Kamo had fallen in love with her, but she came from a family much wealthier than his. He had no cows to offer her father, no wealth to his name, and everyone said he would never be able to marry her. Still, he was determined. The night we arrived, Kamo was unusually quiet. We stayed with an old friend, eating and drinking by the fire. But something was off. It was too silent outside the Enkang, the traditional homestead. No wind, no animal sounds. Only the crackling of the fire. Kamo didn't speak much, just stared into the flames, his eyes distant, almost fearful. "I have to see her tonight," he finally said. I knew it wasn't a good idea. It was taboo for a man to sneak into a woman's Enkang without the proper courtship rituals, especially if he couldn't afford the bride price. But Kamo insisted, telling me he couldn't wait any longer. We snuck through the tall grass, staying low as we approached her Enkang. Kamo moved like a man possessed, his eyes fixed on the small hut where she slept. As we got closer, a strange fog began to roll in, and the air grew colder. I remember thinking how odd it was the dry season, and the nights were usually warm. Then, we heard it. A soft hum, like the sound of bees, but there were no bees. The sound grew louder as we reached the edge of the village. Kamo stopped in his tracks, his face pale as if he had just seen something terrifying. There, standing just outside Nasarian's Enkang, was a figure. It was tall, with a long, flowing robe, but it was no person. Its body was blurry, like smoke caught in the moonlight. Kamo fell to his knees, trembling, as the figure slowly turned toward us. I'll never forget its face. It wasn't human. It was twisted, its eyes black as the night, its mouth wide open as if in a silent scream. Wanted to run, but my legs wouldn't move. I could hear Kamo whispering Nasarian's name over and over, his voice shaky. But the figure only moved closer, reaching out one hand, its fingers long and bony. Suddenly, there was a gust of wind, strong enough to knock us both to the ground. When I looked up, the figure was gone, and the fog had lifted. Kamo was still on his knees, sobbing. I pulled him up, and we ran as fast as we could back to the homestead.
Kamo never spoke of that night again. He left the village the next day and was never the same after that. A few months later, we heard that Nasarian had married a wealthy man from another tribe. Kamo didn't even return for the ceremony.
To this day, I don't know what we saw. Some say it was the spirit of the Enkang, protecting Nasarian from a man who couldn't afford to marry her. Others say it was just a trick of the night. But I know what I saw, and I'll never forget it. That was the night I saw something that wasn't meant for the eyes of the living.
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, like and comment.